At exactly 1:23 a.m., inside the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant, something went horribly wrong. The workers inside Reactor 4 had no idea that within seconds, their world would disappear forever. It started as a routine late-night safety test. The engineers believed everything was under control. Inside the control room, exhausted operators monitored the reactor while warning lights softly blinked across the walls. Everything seemed normal, but deep inside the reactor, power levels suddenly became unstable. Numbers began rising uncontrollably. Alarms started flashing across the control room. At first, the workers thought it was only a small technical problem, but within seconds, panic slowly filled the room. The operators rushed to stabilize the reactor. Hands moved rapidly across buttons and switches. No one fully understood what was happening. The reactor was becoming dangerously unstable. Then, someone pressed the emergency shutdown button. The AZ-5 system. The button was designed to stop the reactor instantly. They believed it would save everyone inside. Instead, it triggered the final catastrophe. The floor suddenly began shaking. Metal pipes screamed through the building. The lights flickered violently. Dust poured from the ceiling. Some workers froze in fear. Others desperately tried to understand what was happening. And then, a blinding blue flash exploded through Reactor 4. The reactor core detonated with unimaginable force. Concrete and steel were launched into the night sky. A massive explosion tore through the building. Flames erupted from the reactor as radioactive debris scattered across the facility. But the workers still didn't realize the true danger. The radiation released that night was invisible. No smell, no warning, no escape. Many of the people inside the plant had already received lethal doses of radiation within seconds. Minutes later, firefighters arrived at the scene. They believed it was only a normal industrial fire. Without protective equipment, they climbed onto the burning reactor roof. Some unknowingly stepped directly onto radioactive graphite. Others picked up glowing fragments with their bare hands. The radiation was so powerful that standing nearby for only a few minutes could become fatal. But nobody had been told the truth. Meanwhile, just a few kilometers away, the city of Pripyat remained peaceful. Families were still sleeping quietly inside their apartments. Children would still wake up for school the next morning, completely unaware that radioactive particles were already spreading through the air around them. As the sun slowly rose over the city, a strange metallic taste filled the air. Some residents stepped outside and watched the glowing reactor from a nearby bridge. The blue light looked almost beautiful, but the light itself was deadly. Over the next few hours, radiation levels across the city continued rising rapidly. Yet no evacuation warning was given. Life continued as normal. People walked through the streets. Children played outside. Buses moved through the city, while invisible radiation silently covered everything around them. Nearly 36 hours later, the evacuation finally began. Residents were told they would return home within a few days. Most never returned again. Homes were abandoned. Schools were left empty. Entire lives disappeared overnight. The city of Pripyat became a frozen ghost town. And deep inside the destroyed reactor, the fire continued burning. Today, nearly 4 decades later, Chernobyl remains one of the darkest disasters in human history. Some areas are still too radioactive for humans to enter, and the silence left behind still feels haunting.